This week, we are looking at a new beginning as God calls for it in the life of the believer when we are revived. He wants to make a grand difference within us. Good morning. This is Pastor Ernie Lewis of the Blue Point Church in Sisney, Illinois, with your thoughts for Tuesday. You see, God doesn't want us to dwell in the past. Not only do we need to forget our failures, but God says, I'm going to do some wonderful things in the future, and I want you to take note of that. I realize God may have a rich history in your life of His blessings and His guidance. But Isaiah tells the people of God in Isaiah 43 and verse 18, do not remember the former things, nor consider the things of old. Behold, I will do a new thing. Now it shall spring forth. Shall you not know it? I will even make a road in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. You see, Israel could rehearse some great miraculous movings of God in their past, like when He parted the Red Sea to allow them to cross on dry land, or when He crumbled the walls of Jericho as they entered into the Promised Land. He reminds them of Pharaoh's army back in verse 17 when He uses the words, who brings forth the chariot and the horse and the army and the power, for they shall lie down together and they shall not rise. We remember how God overcame the powerful army of Pharaoh back there. But now He is calling for His people to not look back. When they mentioned Abraham in the New Testament, oftentimes they were living in the past, and they were not accepting the new Messiah, which was Christ, right in front of them. Are we living in the past today? I mean, whether it was good or bad, He said, do not remember the former things. Behold, I will do a new thing. I've already mentioned that word, behold, this week. Are you watching, He says? I'm going to do something here. God has some new things for your life. And if we will look for them, expect them, we'll be able to see God working. He said, now it shall spring forth. Don't you just love it in the spring whenever some flowers pop up? You don't even remember them growing there before, but now they're bringing all their beauty in places where you can't even expect it or didn't think about it. God says, that's how I'm going to work in your life. In your future, I'm going to spring forth with beauty and new things. He said, shall you not know it? In other words, just keep watching for God to work miracles in our heart and in our life. He says, I will even make a road in the wilderness. Now, do you think those Israelites had a GPS in order to guide them across the wilderness to the Promised Land? No, God was guiding them with that pillar of fire or with that cloud by day, leading them where He wanted them to go. Sometimes when we don't know where we're headed or which direction to turn, God makes that road in the wilderness. There was no highway there before. God may use a series of open doors or closed doors. He may take some providential appointments that we had no idea we were going to have. And He'll make that road in the wilderness. He says, I will also make those rivers in the desert. We know in the Old Testament, God provided water for the Israelites when they were out in the desert. It actually gushed from a rock at the very command of Moses, God's servant. But this is more than just a stream. God said, I'm going to make rivers in the desert. In the New Testament, Jesus uses this phrase to talk about what the Holy Spirit would do. If you believe in me, out of your heart will flow rivers of living water. That is what the Spirit will do in us whenever we trust in God. Are we looking for a renewal that God can bring to us in the future? He said, behold, it will spring forth if you're expecting God to do something in you.